Since December 1926, Stambaugh Auditorium has been host to speakers, weddings, local graduation ceremonies, regionally and nationally acclaimed artists, as well as many private events. Stambaugh Auditorium is the original home of the Youngstown Symphony Orchestra, and for over 80 years the Monday Musical Club called the building home. Presently, Opera Western Reserve, the Stambaugh Youth Concert Band, the Stambaugh Chorus, and many Youngstown State University Dana School of Music ensembles utilize the facility for rehearsals and performances. The building was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1984. This great history would not be possible without the generosity of Henry H. Stambaugh. Henry Hamilton Stambaugh, son of John and Caroline Hamilton Stambaugh, was born on November 24, 1858 in Youngstown, Ohio. After studying locally, Mr. Stambaugh graduated from Cornell University, class of 1881. As a young businessman, he served the iron and coal industry and worked with the Briar Hill Iron and Coal Company first as secretary, then treasurer, and finally as president of the company. He was a founder of the Briar Hill Steel Company and served as a director of the Youngstown Sheet and Tube Company. Mr. Stambaugh, one of the city's most influential citizens, was not only an industrialist and businessman, but also a philanthropist who cared deeply about the people of the city of Youngstown and surrounding communities. While visiting New Orleans, Louisiana, Henry Stambaugh passed away from unknown circumstances on January 4, 1919, at the age of 60. His death coming just 2 months after his will was drafted and signed. In his will, Henry left numerous bequests to his family, to business acquaintances, and to local community organizations. He left his farm in Canfield for the purpose of establishing a Boy Scout camp, which is now known as Camp Stambaugh. His farm in Liberty Township was donated to the city of Youngstown to be used as a park and recreation area and is now known as Stambaugh Golf Course. The community chest, now known as the United Way of Youngstown and the Mahoning Valley, the Youngstown Foundation, and many more charitable organizations all benefited from Henry's generosity. The most recognized legacy of Mr. Stambaugh is the portion of his estate that was bequeathed for the construction of a public auditorium for the citizens of Youngstown and surrounding areas. In his will, Henry named as trustees John Stambaugh, Asa E. Adams, Rollin C. Steese, William B. Hall, and Philip J. Thompson, and charged them with the task of securing a convenient and proper site and erecting thereon an auditorium suitable and adequate for the needs of the residents and citizens of the city of Youngstown. Further, Henry stated that the auditorium be used for the enjoyment, pleasure, entertainment, and education of the community residing in Youngstown and contiguous thereto. On August 3, 1920, the trustees named in Henry Stambaugh's last will and testament came together at the Dollar Bank Building in Youngstown, Ohio, for the first meeting of what would become the Board of Directors of the Henry H. Stambaugh Auditorium Association. Mr. Philip Thompson introduced the resolution that the positions of officers of the Henry H. Stambaugh Auditorium Association would be President, Vice President, Secretary, and Treasurer. Also resolved was that both the office of President and Vice President shall, at all times, be held by trustees of the association. The offices of Secretary and Treasurer may or may not be held by trustees, and may or may not be held by the same person. A motion was made and seconded that the officers should serve for 1 year. John Stambaugh, brother and business partner of Henry Stambaugh, was elected president. William B. Hall, a business and community leader, was elected vice president. Charlotte Todd, cousin of Henry and daughter of David Todd and Annabelle Stambaugh Todd, was elected secretary and treasurer. Other members of the Board of Trustees included Asa E. Adams, a cousin of Henry and president of the Dollar Savings and Trust Company, Rollin C. Steese, a chemist for the Briar Hill Iron and Coal Company and a future director of the Youngstown Sheet and Tube Company, and Philip J. Thompson, president of the Stambaugh Thompson Company. The last order of business was the adoption of a fiscal year of the period of time between November 1st to October 31st. Upon a motion made, the meeting was adjourned, and that was the beginning of Stambaugh Auditorium. The board's work of selecting a site and design and overseeing the construction of the building would continue over the next 6 years until the building opened to the public on December 6, 1926.